There was a time when Hollywood was ruled by larger-than-life men. Actors weren't just movie stars, they were symbols of masculinity, confidence, rebellion, and power. During the 1960s and 1970s, two names stood above nearly everyone else. One was known as the King of Cool. The other would become one of the greatest Western icons in cinematic history. Their names were Steve McQueen and Clint Eastwood. For decades, fans have wondered what really happened between these two legendary actors. Did they admire each other? Did they secretly compete? Was there genuine tension behind the scenes, or was the supposed rivalry simply another Hollywood myth that grew larger with time? The truth is far more fascinating than most people realize. Steve McQueen wasn't the type of man who enjoyed sharing the spotlight. Every role he accepted had to make him look like the strongest, coolest person on screen. He carefully protected his image because he understood something that few actors did at the time. In Hollywood, perception could be just as valuable as talent. Clint Eastwood, on the other hand, built his career differently. He rarely chased headlines. He spoke softly, stayed away from unnecessary drama, and let his performances do the talking. While many actors tried desperately to become stars, Eastwood slowly became something even more powerful, a legend. Although they rarely confronted each other publicly, Hollywood insiders often placed them in the same conversation. Producers compared them. Directors compared them. Magazine writers compared them. Even audiences debated who represented the ultimate American action hero. The comparisons were impossible to avoid. Steve McQueen had become famous through films that showcased his natural charisma. He wasn't interested in delivering lengthy speeches. He believed a glance, a smile, or complete silence could express more emotion than pages of dialogue. That unique style made him incredibly different from many actors of his era. Movies like Bullitt, The Great Escape, and The Thomas Crown Affair transformed him into one of the highest-paid stars in the world. Audiences loved his effortless confidence. Whether driving through the streets of San Francisco or escaping from a German prison camp, McQueen never appeared to be acting. He simply looked like himself. That authenticity became his greatest strength. But while McQueen dominated Hollywood headlines, another actor was quietly building a career that would eventually rival almost everyone in the industry. Clint Eastwood's journey was anything but glamorous. In the beginning, few people believed he would become a major star. Some casting directors criticized his voice. Others thought he lacked emotion. One executive reportedly dismissed him because of his appearance, believing he simply wasn't leading man material. Instead of giving up, Eastwood kept working. His breakthrough came with the television series Rawhide, where he spent years learning discipline, patience, and professionalism. Yet television success wasn't enough. He wanted something bigger. That opportunity arrived unexpectedly from Italy. Director Sergio Leone needed an American actor for a low-budget Western. Most established stars rejected the project because they believed it looked cheap and unimportant. Eastwood accepted. That decision changed movie history forever. A fistful of dollars introduced audiences to a completely different kind of Western hero. Instead of speaking constantly, Eastwood's mysterious gunslinger communicated through silence. His calm expressions created suspense. Every movement felt deliberate. Ironically, this quiet style resembled something Steve McQueen had already mastered. Without realizing it, Hollywood suddenly had two actors whose greatest weapon wasn't dialogue. It was presence. As both careers exploded, comparisons intensified. Entertainment magazines loved creating imaginary battles between stars. Headlines asked who was tougher. Who earned more money? Who drove faster cars? Who had greater influence inside Hollywood? Fans eagerly joined the debate. McQueen was fearless in real life. He raced motorcycles professionally. He competed in dangerous car races against experienced drivers. Risk wasn't something he pretended to enjoy for publicity. He genuinely loved speed. Eastwood approached life differently. He appreciated sports and outdoor activities, but he avoided unnecessary attention. While McQueen chased adrenaline, Eastwood preferred control. Their personalities couldn't have been more different. One burned like fire. The other remained as calm as stone. Yet somehow both represented masculinity in ways audiences admired. Hollywood executives recognized the commercial potential immediately. Whenever a new McQueen film appeared, studios wondered whether Eastwood could match its success. Whenever Eastwood delivered another box office hit, reporters questioned whether McQueen's position as Hollywood's coolest leading man might be under threat. Neither actor publicly declared war against the other. But competition doesn't always require angry interviews. Sometimes it's created by the industry itself. Every success became another comparison, every paycheck became another headline. Every blockbuster fueled another debate. During the late 1960s, Steve McQueen had reached extraordinary heights. He wasn't merely starring in films. He was helping redefine what action heroes looked like. Gone were the perfectly polished gentlemen who dominated earlier decades. McQueen introduced rough edges. He looked exhausted, dirty, bruised, human. Audiences loved it because they believed him. Clint Eastwood accomplished something similar, but with an entirely different approach. His characters rarely appeared emotional. Instead, they projected absolute confidence. Even when surrounded by danger, Eastwood's calm demeanor suggested he already knew the outcome. It became one of cinema's most recognizable personalities. People began copying both men. Leather jackets suddenly became fashionable because of McQueen. Cowboy hats became iconic because of Eastwood. Even their hairstyles influenced millions. Yet behind the glamorous magazine covers, Hollywood remained a business driven by ego, money, and reputation. Actors constantly worried about staying relevant. A single box office disappointment could change everything. McQueen understood this pressure better than anyone. He reportedly examined movie posters carefully. He negotiated billing positions. He fought for creative control. Everything mattered. Not because he was simply difficult. Because he believed every detail influenced how audiences perceived him. Eastwood watched these battles from a distance. Instead of demanding control immediately, he slowly earned it. He studied filmmaking, observed directors, learned editing, examined budgets. While others focused only on acting, Eastwood quietly prepared himself to become a filmmaker. Few people noticed. Years later, everyone would. The contrast between these two stars revealed something important. McQueen wanted to remain Hollywood's greatest actor. Eastwood wanted something even larger. He wanted longevity. The difference would eventually shape both of their legacies. Rumors occasionally surfaced that studios hoped to cast them together. Imagine the excitement. Two of the coolest men in Hollywood sharing one screen. Fans dreamed about it, producers discussed possibilities. Journalists speculated endlessly, yet somehow it never happened. Some believed scheduling conflicts prevented collaboration. Others suggested creative disagreements. Still others argued that neither actor wanted to surrender attention to another equally powerful leading man. No definitive explanation ever emerged. Perhaps the mystery itself became part of Hollywood folklore. Because sometimes the film's audiences never receive become even more legendary than the ones they do. As the 1970s approached, both men stood at remarkable points in their careers. Steve McQueen represented raw charisma. Clint Eastwood represented quiet determination. Each had built an empire without following traditional Hollywood rules. Neither fit the classic mold. Neither relied on elaborate speeches. Neither behaved like polished celebrities. Instead, they embodied something audiences found authentic. That authenticity created legends. But fame comes with consequences. Behind every blockbuster existed enormous pressure. Behind every magazine cover existed relentless competition. Behind every smiling photograph existed fear of becoming yesterday's news. Hollywood has always celebrated success. But it rarely forgives decline. Steve McQueen knew this. Clint Eastwood knew it too. Neither man could stop time. Neither could predict how dramatically their paths would eventually separate. One would face personal struggles that threatened everything he had built. The other would quietly transform himself into one of the most respected directors in movie history. At this moment, however, nobody knew what the future held. Hollywood simply saw two giants standing at the peak of their powers. Two different philosophies. Two different personalities. Two extraordinary careers moving toward destinies that would forever reshape American cinema. And although the public rarely witnessed open conflict between them, the invisible competition surrounding their names had already become one of Hollywood's most enduring stories. The real question was never who hated whom. The real question was who would leave the greater legacy. That answer would take decades to unfold.